It's not life or death, the labyrinth. It's suffering, doing wrong and having wrong things happen to you. But how do you get out of this labyrinth of suffering? Looking for Alaska by John Green takes readers through an emotional journey, traveling the ups and downs of a typical teenage life. It follows the main character, Miles Halton, an introverted and naive high schooler looking for change. He feels unsatisfied with his life at home in Florida with his two parents, and knows that there is more in store for him elsewhere. His pastimes include reading and memorizing the famous last words of people across the globe. Francois Rabelais' last words, "I go to seek a great perhaps," inspire Miles to seek out his own adventure in an Alabama boarding school. When he reaches Culver Creek High School, he meets his short, stocky, and proud roommate, Chip, known by his self-entitled nickname, the Colonel. Within the first day, the Colonel introduces Miles to his best friend, the beautiful and exotic Alaska Young. By the end of the first week, Miles, Alaska, the Colonel, and Takumi fly into a world full of excitement and rebellion. All the rules his father once told him about fly out the window, and he becomes consumed with drinking, pranking, and buying a new pack of smokes. The more time he spends with Alaska, the deeper he falls in love. Despite his feeling of inadequacy and the fact that she has a boyfriend, her feisty attitude and clever charm entices him like no other girl before. Behind all the beauty and humor, Alaska is slowly self-destructing. Gradually, the secrets of her past come to the surface and reveal the unhappy little girl she is keeping inside. When she poses the question, "How do you get out of this labyrinth of suffering?" Miles becomes intent on figuring out how exactly to make this painfully dreamy world a little bit more bearable. Alaska's ability to lure Miles into her self-destructive trap made the power of peer pressure clearly evident throughout the entire novel. From the very beginning, Miles crumbles under any tension he is faced with. Within the first hour of arriving at school, he buys the Colonel a pack of cigarettes, even though he has never smoked in his entire life. From drinking to pranking, Miles takes part in things his first semester at Culver Creek that he never imagined. Even after a run-in with authorities, his friends' adoring praise pushes him forward into making more bad decisions. This showcases of the great lengths they will go to in order to get a friend's approval. Each character partakes in activities that they thought were cool in the moment, but later regretted. Although things seemed harmless, Miles did not have the foresight to see the horrible effects they would have in the future. Looking back on his mistake, he says, "If only we could see the endless string of consequences that result from our smallest actions. But we can't know better until knowing better is useless." Throughout the story, I found myself becoming extremely irritated at Alaska's impulsive actions. She is meant to be a fun and exciting girl who brings Miles on epic adventures, but instead is selfish and rude. Her mysterious and flirty persona was unfair to Miles and allowed him to dream of something he could never actually have. At one point in the book, she lays her head in his lap but claims that she isn't flirting, when she knows how tempting it is for him. It is painful to read of the love that he had for her when it was so clear that she was falsely leading him on. Besides character flaws, I personally enjoyed reading Looking for Alaska very much. It addressed everyone's longing for a fulfilling life, and teaches readers how to cope with their heartache. John Green did a great job of captivating the thoughts and spontaneous actions of a typical high school student, in a believable yet hilarious way. The characters and plotline of this book are very similar to The Perks of Being a Wallflower. In both stories, the main characters are young men looking for excitement that they lack in their everyday lives. They make unlikely friends that hurl them into a new world full of rebellion and freedom. Both Miles in Looking for Alaska and Charlie in Perks of Being a Wallflower fall hopelessly in love with a girl who is clearly uninterested. Their timid personalities fall short of the girl's extravagant lifestyles and leave the boys chasing after a fantasy. This book is bound to bring out all of your emotions. One minute you may be laughing while the next you're sobbing. Anyone looking for a fun yet gut-wrenching read should definitely check out Looking for Alaska.